Call out. The scene of the vision from the sky appeared in the void of the blue star. It was as if a blood-red door had been opened from the endless purgatory. The blood-red aura that diffused from it penetrated the entire sky, making people respectful and even more creepy. Dungeon from Another World, Demon Eater Forest, coming soon. Difficulty factor, 3 stars. At this moment, the voice of the Heavenly Deo system, like a shocking battle song, shocked the whole world. It's actually a dungeon from another world with a difficulty of 3 stars, the Demon Eater Forest. I remember that it came once in 2.5 years. None of the 12 people who were selected at the beginning survived. I want to gamble with the luck of my life, don't choose me, don't choose me. Blue Star has tens of billions of people, I don't believe I will be so unlucky. Hundreds of millions of tense hearts are praying that they are not the chosen ones. Whoosh! In an instant, 9 rays of light burst out, like Optimus Prime, covering the vast land of Dragon Kingdom. Selected. Hey, the chosen ones are all from the Dragon Country. Haha. It deserves it, whoever made them so many, only a few died. Ime Karma, may God bless you, Amen. The time has passed to an afternoon 28 years ago. At that time, the clear sky was suddenly covered by a bunch of black lights. A mysterious force awakened, and it was a copy from another world. From that moment on, the 5 different worlds of demons, ghosts, monsters, and beasts will come to Blue Star in the form of copies. As the chosen one, he is forced to be sent to a dungeon in another world for various terrifying trials. In fact, they are walking through the gates of hell, and the vast majority of those who are selected almost never return. Therefore, the copy from another world has become a lingering nightmare for all human beings. But if you complete the trial of the alien copy, you will get unexpected gains. Wealth is only second. The main reason is to get mysterious power from it, which absolutely cannot be measured by money. There is a woman named Yu Fuxu in Longguo, who was blessed with the power of devouring demons in the dungeons of the demon world, and has since swept all dungeons of the demon world with difficulty below 5 stars. Later, Yu Fuxu also became a legendary trump card of the Dragon Kingdom. It's lucky that other people can come out alive, so how dare they expect to obtain mysterious power from the other world dungeon? Call out. A cute baby with a small school bag on his back, with a surprised expression on his round face. Ah! What is this? Su Qianqian looked at herself surrounded by a beam of red light that fell from the sky, with a very puzzled expression. This is the symbol of being chosen by the Heavenly Deo system. Congratulations, you have become the selected person for this alien dungeon. Reminder, after 1 hour, the 9 selected ones will be sent to the Demon-Eating Forest for trials. The live broadcast is turned on, and the Tiandeo live broadcast room automatically connects to major live broadcast platforms. The voice of the Heavenly Deo system entered the minds of the 9 chosen ones. At the same time, on various live broadcast platforms around the world, a message called "Welcome to Tiandeo Live Broadcasting Room" appeared. In the screen of the live broadcast room, 9 grids were split on the screen. The 9 selected persons all appeared on the screen. Let me see which 9 unlucky ghosts they are. Why is there a little girl? Big eyes, a small round face, so cute, she must be a delicate beauty when she grows up. It's so pitiful, it's not suitable for children to be sent to a dungeon trial in another world at such a young age. As we all know, it is a near-death experience for an adult to enter a dungeon in another world, let alone a little girl who enters the Demon-Eating Forest with a difficulty of 3 stars? In the live broadcast room, the identity information of each person selected by the Heavenly Deo system was displayed. Number 2 pick, Su Qianqian. Age, 5 years old. Identity, children in the top class of colorful Starlight Kindergarten. Power, none. Treasure, Feng Shui Gui brand children's smart watch. When all the water friends saw Su Qianqian's personal information, several question marks appeared on their heads. What the is a pink water turtle children's watch? It's the children's smart watch that is very popular recently. It costs 180 yuan each, and it can also make calls. What kind of treasure is this? Everyone knew very well that only treasures obtained from dungeons in other worlds were real treasures. The identities of the other 8 candidates were also seen by everyone. The other 8 were actually selected for the first time. It was the first time to be selected by the alien dungeon with 3-star difficulty, and it is estimated that the entire army will be wiped out. Be more confident and remove the word estimate. In fact, in the past 28 years, for the first time in the past 28 years, the person selected by the Heavenly Dao system had a 0 survival rate in the 3-star difficulty alien dungeon trial. Even those who have passed the trial cannot guarantee a 10% survival rate if they enter the 3-star difficulty alien dungeon trial. While the people of Longguo were glad that they were not selected, they also felt sad for the 9 chosen ones. What should I do? I'm afraid. Although Su Jianqian is only a 5-year-old girl, she has also heard of the existence of dungeons in other worlds, which are more terrifying than ghost stories. Diddy. Su Jianqian raised her slender right hand and pressed the phone button on the child's smart watch. Beep. The phone is connected. Hey, is that Dad? Childish voice, Yu reading www.yuuganju.com with a slightly trembling tone. Well, it's Dad. A man's voice came from the children's smart watch. Father, I was chosen. I'm so scared. So Kyunkin's understanding of the copy of the other world is very hazy, almost ignorant, but she just knows that it is a scary place. After half a ring, a very calm voice came from the other end of the phone. Qian, don't be afraid, the copy of the foreign world is a very special playground, there are many novel and interesting things. Hearing this, Su Jianqian frowned, and asked half-believingly, Father, is what you said true? Of course it's true. When did Dad lie to Jianqian? As soon as these words came out, the water friends in the live broadcast rooms on various platforms seemed to know that these were words of comfort. The family members of the other candidates are desperately preparing for this. However, So Kyunkin's father can only watch his daughter die. He is really a useless father. I hope she will have a good pregnancy in her next life. For the sake of her being so helpless and pitiful, I will reward her with 1 Heavenly Dao coin. The boss is domineering, the boss is a good man, and his life is safe. Heavenly Dao coins can be obtained through other world dungeons, and can be used to buy treasures and so on in the Heavenly Dao system. According to the ratio, 1 Tian Dao coin is equivalent to 10,000 yuan, and it is still rising in value. But 1 Heavenly Dao coin is naturally not enough to buy treasures. To put it bluntly, this big tipper is just giving Su Jianqian a tip to buy a coffin. On the other end of the phone, don't play for too long, go home on time for dinner. The voice of the phone was heard by the major live broadcasts at the same time. Friends of the water. Do you really think that the copy of the foreign world is a playground? Is it ignorance, or is it too sad to talk nonsense? The dungeon of another world is synonymous with horror and nightmares. It is not a place where you can come and go whenever you want. He is right. No one dares not to be in awe of the copy of the foreign world. The ghosts and monsters in the dungeons of other worlds can be said to be the chosen ones for dimensionality reduction strikes. Father, Qian knows. Su Jianqian responded in a childish voice, and then hung up the phone. Friends of the Tiandao live broadcast room on major platforms have displayed silent mourning expressions on the pop-up screens. Such an innocent and cute baby, it is inevitable to die in the end. After tossing and turning, an hour passed. Under So Kyunkin's feet, a spiral teleportation array appeared. When the teleportation circle shrank, Su Jianqian disappeared from the spot. The other 8 chosen ones were also sent to the dungeon in another world. Location: Demon Eater Forest. Towering trees rose from the ground one by one, forming a dense forest. From every corner of the forest, faint red rays of light bloomed, as if there were countless pairs of eyes of bloodthirsty beasts staring at it. Accompanied by the cool breath, bursts of fear welled up in my heart. The gloomy voice came from the forest, as if waiting for some prey to come to the door. The water friends who watched through the Tiandao live broadcast room immediately became terrified. The creepy demon-eating forest. As far as I know, among the 3 STAR difficulty dungeons that descended, only this demon-eater forest has a 0 survival rate. 9 are unlucky. I was wrong, it is the 9 chosen ones who are really going to die. Come on, they teleport to the demon-eating forest. On the edge of the demon-eating forest, one after another red rays of light dissipated from the teleportation array, and 9 chosen ones appeared. The 9 candidates are 3 women and 6 men, and the oldest is no more than 35 years old, and the youngest is only 5 years old. Wow, are you here yet? Dad said there are a lot of new and interesting things here, so I'm looking forward to it. So Kyunkin's big Kazilan eyes flashed with anticipation. Ignorant brat, you don't know what's going on until you die. A burly man in a green uniform glared at Su Jianqian fiercely, his eyes full of disdain. You don't need to yell at a little girl, it's all pitiful that she was chosen at such a young age. A tall woman with a delicate face walked to So Kyunkin's side. Don't be afraid Jianqian, big sister will accompany you. The woman stroked her little head with her hand. But Su Jianqian didn't feel inexplicable fear because she was teleported to this terrifying demon-eating forest. On the contrary, she believed her father's words, this is a playground that filled her with expectations. How does big sister know my name is Jianqian? Su Jianqian looked puzzled, she didn't know this woman at all. Because we are all the chosen ones. The woman didn't explain too much, after all, Su Jianqian didn't understand the explanation. In fact, the selected people will be broadcast live by Tiandao Live Studio, and the identity information of each selected person can be learned from it. Except for Su Jianqian, the other 8 candidates all knew the identity information of each candidate in advance. Big sister, you are so beautiful, and you smell so good. Su Jianqian said without hesitation. Wang Wangqing showed a sweet smile. She is the flower of the Qing History Department of Xiao University, so she is naturally pretty. It's hard to protect myself, and the heart of the Virgin is flooding. A child, a Madonna, what a burden. Leave them aside, anyway, I don't want to be killed by them. The other selectors even sneered at Su Jianqian and Wang Wangqing. In fact, this is not too much. To be selected by the Heavenly Dao system and enter the copy of the other world is to risk one's life. After all, no one wants to die. If it is said that the survival rate of going to the battlefield is close to death, then the survival rate of entering the dungeon trial in another world is not even 1%. According to statistics, among the 10,000 selected candidates, only 0.93% survived the alien dungeon trial. Let's say a few words less, everyone. We are all the chosen ones, and everyone should work together to complete the trial. At this moment, a chubby young man with a height of more than 1.5 meters said such a word to smooth things over. However, this fat man named Yang Yu looked at Wang Wangqing's chest from time to time, which was quite wretched. It's just you fat man who still wants to be a flower protector, and you don't even look in the mirror to see how ugly you are, bah! Yeah, eat you! Among them were 2 irascible elder brothers, who directly scolded the wretched fat man to the point where his body was bruised. Diddy! The sound of the wind chimes grew louder and louder, and the sound of the Heavenly Dao system spread like a broadcast. Welcome the 9 blue star selectors to the Demon Eater Forest. There are a total of 2 trials in this alien dungeon. Trial 1, please enter the demon-eating forest and find the demon-eating flower. After completing the trial, all those selected will receive a reward from heaven. Reminder, within 30 minutes, all selected candidates must enter the demon-eating forest. Overdue will be completely obliterated. Good luck to everyone. The sound of the broadcast disappeared, and the chosen ones were talking about it. What's going on? It's different from the trial in the Demon Eater Forest 2.5 years ago. It's a pity that I went bankrupt and prepared a lot. Yu reading www.yuyugonshu.com. It's really over this time. At the beginning of the trial, the chosen ones were all trembling with fright. A bunch of cowards! The burly man Donglong shouted angrily, and said, I will be the leader. Who agrees? Who opposes? Hearing this, the selectors looked at Donglong and nodded in agreement. There is no doubt that Donglong is the most powerful among the 9 selected candidates. Anyone who opposes it will definitely have no good fruit. Donglong looked at Su Jianqian and Wang Wangqing, and said in a commanding tone, You two go in first. As soon as these words came out, Wang Wangqing's delicate body trembled slightly. Of course she was afraid. She is not stupid. She knows what Donglong means, which is to let her and Su Jianqian be cannon fodder first. The other selectors also knew that it was not because of Donglong's intimidation that they did not dare to speak out. They also believed that it was better to let Wang Wangqing and Su Jianqian be cannon fodder than to die by themselves. Wang Wangqing bit her red lips and didn't say much. She knew it was useless to refute. When she was selected by the Heavenly Dao system, she already realized that she was going to die in the demon-eating forest of the alien dungeon. But whoever is willing to die, even if there is still a glimmer of life, they all try to hold on to it. Wang Wangqing took a deep breath, and when her chest rose and fell, her hormones went berserk. She held Su Jianqian with slightly trembling hands, and said with a calm smile, Jianqian, let's go in first. Su Jianqian nodded obediently. Her eyes were still full of anticipation. Rustle. Just after walking 100 steps, there was the sound of sand and stones moving in the demon-eating forest. It's terror. This is an alien dungeon with 3-star difficulty, full of endless horrors everywhere. The demon-eating forest is the domain of demons. In front of demons, human beings are even weaker than ants. The lives of the chosen ones will also be manipulated by various monsters, and there is no human right at all. In front of Sokyunkin's eyes, a 3-foot-tall tree demon was waving whip-like branches and making weird laughter. Hey hey! The laughter was not only scary, but the breath that permeated it even activated the fear deep in my heart. Level 6 Dryad. When Donglong and others in the distance saw this tree demon, every cell in their body trembled. Through the Tiandao live broadcast room, the water friends who watched the demon-eating forest broke out in a cold sweat. They were glad that they were not selected by the Tiandao system. I met a 6th level Dryad right away. Can I still survive? As we all know, in the demon realm, one of the 5 alien realms, the 1st to 5th ranks are small demons, while the 5th to 10th ranks are big demons. Even with the blessing of treasures and strength, it may not be able to deal with the 6th level monster. In the Tiandao live broadcast rooms of the major live broadcast platforms in Longguo. Contemporary Su Xian, it's a pity that he is a tree demon. I want to return to vulgarity. This Dryad looks like a tentacle monster. 10th level keyboard man, the 6th level tree demon, even the 10th level big monster, I don't pay attention. Xi she who sells stinky tofu, I can definitely survive if I eat my mother's stinky tofu. If it's really not possible, I can eat my mother's tofu, no credit. The water friends were bombarding the screen. Without exception, they all thought that if Su Jianqian and Wang Wangqing didn't leave, they would surely die. If you leave, you won't be able to complete the task, and everyone will be finished. In the demon-eating forest, the Dryad's weird laughter stopped, and it continued to speak. I am the ivy tree demon. I opened this road and planted this tree. If you want to pass by here, you can save money to buy roads. This sentence is very familiar. Isn't it the line used by bandits to rob? Everyone can understand the words of the Dryad, don't ask why. This is the ability to think through language endowed by the Heavenly Dao system. Wang Wangqing, who heard this, seemed to know that things were turning around. If you kill the chosen one, if you disagree with one word, that is despair. Wang Wangking asked respectfully, Your Excellency Tree Demon, is 150 heavenly Dao coins okay? I only have so much money with me. Heavenly Dao coin is a common currency in other worlds. In fact, 150 Tian Dao coins are really not too little for most families. That's equivalent to 1.5 million yuan. When Wang Wangking's family members learned that she had been selected by the Heavenly Dao system, the first time they entered the dungeon in another world, they sold everything they had and went bankrupt in exchange for 150 Heavenly Dao coins. The other selectors must have spent all their wealth in exchange for Heavenly Dao coins when they were selected by the Heavenly Dao system. But except for Su Jianqian. Therefore, Su Qianqin's father was also named a useless father. 150 Heavenly Dao coins? Do you think I'm a beggar? The ivy dryad suddenly became furious, and the surrounding vines made a strong cracking sound. Wang Wangking was so frightened that she didn't dare to answer. For a big demon-level ivy tree demon, 150 Heavenly Dao coins is really like sending a beggar. Su Jianqian, who was at the side, asked suspiciously, Big sister, is the Tian Dao coin a ticket to enter the playground? As soon as this remark came out, everyone thought that Su Jianqian was being abused by his father, and still foolishly thought that the copy of the other world was a playground. Wang Wangking said with a half-smile, Yes, big sister's Tian Dao coins are not enough to buy tickets for the amusement park. In fact, it is not an exaggeration to regard the ivy dryad as a conductor, because if you give the money, it is very likely to pass. Do you want a lot of Tian Dao coins? Su Jianqian asked. The ivy tree demon spoke again, If you don't have 10,000 Heavenly Dao coins, you can't pass it. Friends of the Tian Dao live broadcast room, 10,000 Heavenly Dao coins. Crazy? It's equivalent to 100 million yuan. How many people can get 10,000 Heavenly Dao coins? This ivy tree demon is more than just a lion with a big mouth, it is simply frenzied. Then what can we do? In the foreign world dungeon, the selected ones are like the fish on the knife, let them slaughter. It is undeniable that the ivy dryad has no intention of giving these chosen ones a way out. And the ivy tree demon seemed to be able to read minds, and it could be seen that Wang Wangking and Su Jianqian did not have 10,000 Heavenly Dao coins at all. The ivy dryad didn't leave any traces of ink, and let out a hey la laugh again, If you don't have money, just stay alive. Countless vines, like whips with thorns, swung towards Su Jianqian and Wang Wangking. The ivy tree of the big demon level is so powerful that it can instantly kill a black belt master, let alone a frail female college student and a little girl who has no strength to restrain a chicken. Wang Wangking seemed to realize at this moment that her life was about to come to an end. Although there are many unwillingness in the heart, becoming the chosen one is doomed to a tragic fate. At the moment before she died, she was still holding Su Jianqian by the hand, and she did not show any resistance. Even if she wants to resist, it is equivalent to shaking the tree. Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com Escape? Can he walk in front of the ivy dryad? Even if you leave, you won't survive. At the moment when the ivy tree demon launched an attack, time seemed to be stopped. I saw the ivy tree demon trembling all over, and the eyeballs embedded in the tree were about to fall out. Not only that, the ivy tree demon was sweating coldly. Dong Long and other selectors in the rear all looked dumbfounded. What happened? The green vine tree demon didn't move when it launched an attack. Do you have something to say? Or do you want to have fun before killing? No one could guess why the ivy dryad suddenly stopped attacking. After half a sound, the ivy tree demon muttered inwardly, Damn it, I'm about to die, how could I be so confused? The ivy dryad's eyes fell on So Kyunkin's arm, staring at the pink water turtle smartwatch, but the more he looked at it, the more he trembled. From So Kyunkin's pink water turtle smartwatch, it felt an extremely strong fear, as if it came from an endless abyss, which was a horror it couldn't touch. It is far more difficult for the ivy tree demon to become a great demon than other animals, and it takes longer to become a demon. Therefore, both in terms of heart and mind, it is much higher than other great monsters, but this time it judges people by their appearance. Boom! Suddenly, the ivy tree demon leaned forward and knelt down directly to Su Jianqian. I'm so confused, I don't know that His Majesty is coming, please forgive me. Clap! I saw the green vine tree demon beating himself, crying and begging, I have an old man and a young man, I beg the Lord to spare my life. Everyone who saw this scene seemed to be in a mess in the wind. What happened? Who can tell me what the ivy dryad is doing? Could it be that this ivy tree demon is a masochist? It seems that there is such a type of people who, after torturing themselves, begin to torture and kill others. But it seems that something is wrong. Do masochists like to whip themselves and cry for mercy? Worlds, full of wonders. How many people would believe in the existence of ghosts, monsters before the copy of the other world descended on Blue Star? Creatures that should appear in fantasy actually exist in reality. So, there are no impossible things, only unexpected things. Big sister, isn't this dryad selling tickets? Why is it like a circus performance? Su Jianqian understood the strange behavior of the ivy dryad as a circus. After all, the circus has all kinds of strange performers, who are performing hard, just to win the audience's smile. For a while, Wang Wangqing didn't know how to explain to Su Jianqian. But she knew very well that the ivy tree demon who was going to put her and Su Jianqian to death suddenly knelt down and begged for mercy, not because the ivy tree demon had a tendency to abuse himself. It's just that Wang Wangqing didn't know why, so the ivy tree demon asked a 5-year-old girl to beg for mercy. When the ivy dryad heard the word circus, it immediately performed an impromptu performance. The ivy dryad weaved the rattan on its body into a ball, and then stepped on it to walk back and forth. Seeing this scene, Su Jianqian clapped her hands consciously, Dad is right, the playground here is really novel. As soon as this remark came out, the water friends in the Tiandao live broadcast room were speechless. The ivy tree demon who performed a round was actually covered in blue sweat. It was definitely not sweating from exhaustion, but a cold sweat from being frightened. Although the ivy tree demon doesn't know what So Kyunkyun's identity is, but from the terrifying aura emanating from the pink water turtle smartwatch Su Jianqian is wearing, it's not difficult to see that Su Jianqian controls some kind of powerful. Even the ivy tree demon felt extremely fearful. Even the demon king has to retreat 3 points. How dare an ivy tree demon at the level of a big demon dare to disobey? Seeing Su Jianqian puffing up his palms, the ivy tree demon said submissively, I beg your lord not to kill me. Kill you? Don't you sell tickets? I still want to go in. Su Jianqian couldn't wait, and wanted to play in the depths of the demon-eating forest. The ivy tree demon kowtowed several times in a row, and said with tears of gratitude, Thank you for not killing me. He said hastily again, I don't dare to accept tickets, you can enter as you please. The ivy dryad was too polite to be polite. Big sister, this tree demon uncle doesn't charge us tickets, how nice. Su Jianqian waved at the ivy tree demon, Uncle Tree Demon, goodbye. Because the ivy tree demon was overly frightened, he forced a smile on his face. After seeing off Su Jianqian and Wang Wangqing, he breathed a sigh of relief as if reborn. Suddenly, the Tiandao live broadcast room exploded. Explain downstairs, what happened? I was also shocked. Why did the ivy tree demon suddenly stop attacking, beg for mercy inexplicably, and respect a 5-year-old girl? Could it be that So Kyunkyun's identity has a lot of background? Impossible, this is absolutely impossible. I also don't think it's possible. Could it be that her father is a big shot? Which data emperor can tell us who is So Kyunkyun's father? It is impossible for everyone to think that it is So Kyunkyun's pink water turtle smartwatch that completely frightens the ivy dryad. So they speculated that it was probably because Sokyunkin's father had a lot of background. On the edge of the demon-eating forest, Donglong and the other selectees also had expressions of astonishment. But time does not allow them to speculate too much. There are still 10 minutes left, and we will also go into the demon-eating forest. Within 30 minutes, if you cannot enter the demon-eating forest, you will be completely wiped out. Once the trial has begun, it is impossible to give up halfway, unless it is death. The two irascible elder brothers retreated. No matter how bad-tempered a person is, he must be cowardly in the face of a big monster. It is said to be a big demon, but it is actually a cowardly tree demon that even children are afraid of. It's all about being strong outside. After all, Donglong winked and let the short fat man and another thin man walk in front, while he followed behind them. In case of any unexpected changes, it's better to let the two of them be cannon fodder. As soon as Donglong and the others approached, the ivy tree demon started threatening in exactly the same way. I opened this road, and I planted this tree. If you want to pass this way, save money to buy roads. Clap. The rattan waved like dozens of long whips again, and the breath released from it made people tremble. Master Dryad, we are also chosen. Yang Yu said tremblingly. Clap. As soon as the words fell, the long whip of the ivy tree demon cut off Yang Yu's left arm like a long knife. Ants, save your life if you don't have money. What happened? Donglong and the others panicked immediately, while Yang Yu rolled on the ground and howled in pain. The attitude of the ivy tree demon has not only changed 180 degrees from before, it has simply changed its appearance. Didn't it mean that the ivy dryad is strong in appearance but cowardly as a mouse? The ivy dryad who is afraid of even children, Yu reading www.yuuganshu.com would be so scary. Today, the big demon RB is showing mercy. There are 7 of you, if you sacrifice 3 people at will, I will let you go through the door. The ivy tree demon could have killed Donglong and the others, but it gave Donglong and the others a chance. Obviously, the ivy dryad is interested in testing their ugly humanity. After all, human nature is the most vulnerable to the test. Ants, hurry up and choose which 3 people to sacrifice their lives, otherwise this monster will go back on his word. As soon as the ivy tree demon finished speaking, Donglong pointed at Yang Yu and the thin man, and then violently pushed the beautifully made-up woman out. Master Dryad, sacrifice the lives of these 3 people. Ruthless. Hard enough. And without hesitation. I don't want to die. Why should my life let you decide life and death? If you want to die, you go to sacrifice, I don't want to die. The 3 people appointed by Donglong to sacrifice their lives were in a powerless rage. Donglong looked at the 3 people beside him, and said, it's not my decision alone, but everyone's decision to sacrifice you. The other 3 also chimed in. If they didn't offer sacrifices to Yang Yu and the other 3, they would have to offer sacrifices to themselves, so the 3 had an equally strong desire to survive. Although there will be guilt in the heart, people are not for themselves, and heaven and earth will destroy them. Brother Long, please let me go, you can ask me to do whatever you want. The woman with colorful makeup knelt and crawled to Donglong's feet, hugged tightly with both hands, crying and begging, looking really embarrassed. Go away, ugly bastard. With a sudden kick, Donglong mercilessly kicked the beautiful woman 3 meters away. Hey! Such an ugly human nature, I like it. Click! The chubby man, the skinny man, and the gorgeous woman were dealt with by the ivy tree demon in an instant. In the Tiandao live broadcast room, there was a dead silence. Everyone's fear of the alien copy has also risen to a new height. People can't help but sigh, human life is so fragile. At this time, a net name Descendants of the Dragon uttered a sentence in the Tiandao live broadcast room. Old men, if you want to know more about Sokyunkin's father, please type find information, to the same day. For a while, this sentence popped up all over the Tiandao live broadcast room. This wave of advertisements was caught off guard. After a while, the screen name Descendants of the Dragon shared information about So Kyunkin's father. Name, Su Yang, age, 23 years old, education, high school, status, no house, no car, no job, marital status, unmarried, relatives, daughter. Friends who saw this message, 3 no people, who gave birth out of wedlock. I thought they were high-level figures, but it turned out that we were not even considered low-level figures. Anyway, I also have a job as a security guard. I thought he was a hidden boss, but he turned out to be a scumbag. Since Su Yang is a happy woman, why did the ivy tree demon beg for mercy from Su Jianqian? Everyone was puzzled again. Could it be that the ivy dryad really has a tendency to abuse himself? But when the ivy tree demon played with the other chosen ones, he enjoyed it. It is always unreasonable to put human thinking on monsters. Suddenly, a water friend popped up the screen and attracted everyone's attention. Do you still remember the children's smartwatch that Su Jianqian is wearing? Pink water turtle smartwatch for children. I remembered that in the selected person's information, So Kyunkin's pink water turtle children's smartwatch is a treasure. I didn't take it seriously. Maybe it is really a treasure. After all, Zudge, if I'm not wrong, the ivy tree demon found So Kyunkin's children's smartwatch, so he was scared out of his wits. It must be like this. Can this pink water turtle children's smartwatch scare the big demon level ivy tree demon? It's better to believe it than to believe it. What if it is true? Suddenly, calls and orders from the Longwo Children's Smartwatch store exploded. The bosses who sold pink water turtle children's smartwatches even took the opportunity to raise the price, from the initial 180 yuan, directly to 1000 yuan, 2000 yuan, or even 5000 yuan, and they were also sold out. A tattooed man in his 30s who wears a pink kid's smartwatch, isn't he really ashamed? If you can save your life, shame is nothing. In the demon-eating forest. It's only been 10 minutes, and they disappeared. Dong Long didn't want to let Su Jianqian and Wang Wangqing go, after all, he still needed cannon fodder. Brother Long, a female college student and a little girl, they should be not far ahead, let's catch up directly. The long-haired man said. Hearing this, Dong Long glared at the long-haired man angrily, and then said, running wildly in this perilous demon-eating forest, do you want to seek death? Although Dong Long looks tough, he is also a clear-eyed person, and he is cruel enough. Brother Long is right. We need to be cautious at every step and avoid all monsters. If we encounter a big monster again, we will be completely finished. It is difficult for us to kill a little monster, so how can we deal with the big one? Demon. That's right, let them step on the trap first, even if they can find the demon-eating flower, that would be the best. Including Dong Long, the priority choice is to survive in the demon-eating forest. Only by living can we see each other again. When a person is about to die, there is nothing left. About 300 meters ahead. Wang Wangqing, who was walking with Su Jianqian, stopped immediately. Due to her mental tension, her facial features seemed to have become extremely sharp, but it also aroused a stronger sense of fear deep in her heart. Except for Su Jianqian, the other candidates all looked terrified. Big sister, what's the matter with you? Su Jianqian looked up at Wang Wangqing beside her. But Wang Wangqing stood motionless on the spot, her expression was dull, her pupils shrank slightly, and she couldn't hide her inner fear at all. Big sister, are you afraid? My father said, let me not be afraid. My father also said that the copy of the foreign world is a fun and novel place. Although Su Jianqian is only 5 years old and her cognitive ability is not high, she also knows to be afraid, but she prefers to believe what her father said. Wang Wangqing took 2 deep breaths, but still couldn't get out of the fearful shadow of the ivy tree demon. Jianqian, your father must be amazing. Wang Wangking was referring to the psychological quality. If you were a normal person, if you learned that your daughter was selected by the heavenly Dao system, you would be devastated. Amazing? In the Tiandao live broadcast room, those water friends who knew Su Yang's information all showed contemptuous eyes. In their opinion, what's so great about a 3-no person? Yet, Dad is amazing. Sometimes when he comes home with bruises all over his body, he still doesn't forget to make delicious food for me and play with me. Dad loves me the most. So Kyunkin's round face showed a happy expression. Looking at the innocent Su Jianqian, Wang Wangking felt a little comforted in her soul. The words are wrong. Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com is not covered in bruises, but comes home exhausted from work. Wang Wangking believes that the words to describe hard work should not be bruised. Su Jianqian put on a puzzled expression. In her mind, recalling the appearance of her father, sometimes she really came home with bruises all over her body. However, So Kyunkin's attention was diverted by a hissing sound. So Kyunkin's eyes were full of anticipation, as if she knew that a new monster would appear again. Su Jianqian was amused by the ivy tree demon performing in the circus last time, so she was curious about what kind of novel demon she would encounter next. Wang Wangking is different, she is 10,000 times unwilling to meet the demon. But here is a copy of the monsters in another world. It is impossible not to encounter monsters. I can only pray that I will not encounter big monsters. Because there is still a glimmer of life when encountering a first-level demon with weak attack power. Whisk! Not far ahead, a burst of light yellow smoke curled up. The yellow fog hadn't dissipated yet, but a hazy figure appeared in the fog. People? It is obviously unreasonable for people other than the Chosen One to appear in the Demon Eater forest. However, monsters can be transformed into human form, and that is limited to big monsters and higher monsters. From this point of view, the demon that appeared in the yellow mist at this time is another existence of the level of a great demon. Wang Wangking didn't choose to escape, she knew she couldn't escape, so she had to face it bravely. She couldn't feel the evil spirit, but the breath released from the yellow mist was more suffocating than the breath from the ivy tree demon. In other words, the humanoid monsters that appeared at this time are not only the existence of the big monster level, but also more powerful than the ivy tree demon. The Tiandao live broadcast rooms on various platforms swiped the screen again. A monster in human form. Another big monster. I'm afraid this big monster is much more powerful than the ivy tree demon. Is this an alien dungeon with 3-star difficulty? Even if you have 10 lives, it's not enough, it's so frightening. The water friends are once again thankful that they did not become the chosen ones of the Demon Eater forest. Otherwise, you will receive a boxed meal on the spot. You must know that the 9 people selected by the Heavenly Dao system all entered the alien dungeon for the first time, and they were still in the Demon-Eating forest with a difficulty of 3 stars, so the survival rate was greatly reduced by dozens or even hundreds of times. But there are also so-called Heavenly Beloveds, who can often complete various trials in the dungeons of other worlds. Heaven's darling is only 1 in a million, it is not an exaggeration to describe it as 1 in a million. Yu Fuxiu of Raolong Kingdom is one of them. Yu Fuxiu is not only extremely lucky, but the key is strength, so she can truly become the darling of heaven. In the Demon-Eating forest, the cloud of pale yellow smoke completely dissipated. Su Jianqian and Wang Wangking saw a man wearing a pure yang scarf, a yellow gossip gown, and a whisk in his hand. This person seems to be in his 40s, with phoenix eyes and sword eyebrows, ruddy complexion and the same demeanor, quite immortal. It's better to say that he looks like a master of cultivating immortals than a master of the world who lives in seclusion in the mountains. But here is a copy of the Demon-Eating forest in the demon world. Taoist priest. Wang Wangking immediately shook her head. No matter how much she dressed like a Taoist priest, this is a Demon-Eating forest, so it is impossible for a human Taoist priest. So she is sure that this is a big monster who turned into a Taoist priest. You can be sure that it is a monster. As for what kind of monster it is, there is no way of knowing. I saw this big monster with the appearance of a Taoist priest, showing no signs of viciousness at all. Tao is also Tao, very Tao, poor Tao is polite. The Yayadao was very polite and greeted Su Jianqian and Wang Wangking. But in Wang Wangking's eyes, this monster is just a wolf in sheep's clothing. Anyway, it's a monster. Wang Wangking didn't dare to underestimate her, and she bowed her hands politely in return. The little girl has met the Taoist priest. Su Jianqian on the side didn't salute, and she didn't understand these etiquettes. And in Su Qianqian's eyes, this Taoist priest was very strange. In the Tiandao live broadcast room, all the water friends have guessed what kind of monster this big monster who has turned into a Taoist priest is. This monster is quite polite, so is it very friendly? It's just a fake. I'm curious, what is it that turned into a demon? It really looks like a fairy. Could it be that the Bodhi tree has turned into a demon? Could it be some kind of Dao fruit that becomes a monster? After all, it's a big monster. There are also many kinds of demons, not only tree demons, but also cat demons, fox demons, stone demons, and so on. When all creatures are conceived in the world, they can become demons. Not to say that all monsters are malicious, but they are definitely not kind. In the demon-eating forest, after the Yayadao saluted, he walked towards Su Jianqian slowly. Su Jianqian was not afraid, but just stared straight at Yayadao. Su Jianqian seemed to be thinking about something. But what bad thoughts can a little girl have? As for Wang Wangking who was at the side, she was thinking about what this monster was going to do. If you know the motive of the monster, you can prevent it in advance. Although the effect is minimal, it is much better than struggling helplessly. Little girl, what's your name? Yayadao asked in a friendly tone. My name is Su Jianqian, and I study in the top class of Colorful Starlight Kindergarten. Su Jianqian replied very sincerely. Yayadao nodded and said, Su Jiking, Kyun Kyun Kui, means triple green, good name. Hearing this, Wang Wangking on the side was stunned, she never thought that a monster would be so knowledgeable. Su Jianqian said proudly, of course, this is the name my father gave me. Yayadao waved the whisk in his hand, still with a good-natured face, and asked again when he saw him, little girl Jianqian, do you think poor Dao looks like a mortal or a god? As soon as this remark came out, the water friends in the Tiandao live broadcast room were the first to burst into a commotion. Why is this sentence so familiar? I also feel very familiar, as if I have heard it from somewhere. It's the allusion to the story of Huang Pitzi begging for seal. In an instant, most of the water friends began to realize suddenly under the guidance of others. Could it be that the real body of this monster is a weasel? Shocked. It's actually a weasel demon. Is this demon Taoist begging Su Jianqian for title? The allusion to the story of a weasel like a passerby asking for a seal is not to mention familiar, but most people have heard a folk legend. According to legend, when the weasel has a certain level of morality, it turns into a human form and asks passers-by for titles. And everyone thinks that 9 out of 10, the weasel demon is begging for a seal from Su Jianqian. The weasel demon has a very high talent for Taoism, and it is not surprising that he can transform into a human form and become a demon. All the water friends returned the question to the forum again. Speaking of which, Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com Huang Pitzi asks for a seal, how should I answer? If the answer is human-like, it will be very angry, and it will even kill the person who was challenged in a fit of anger. If the answer is like a fairy, then Huang Pitzi will be punished by heaven. This kind of century-old problem is like two closest relatives falling into the water at the same time, which one should be saved? At this time, the water friends were all sweating for Su Jianqian, no matter whether they answered like a human or a fairy, they would all get burned. Similarly, Wang Wangking, who heard these words, immediately knew that the real body of Yayadao was the weasel demon. But the issue of crusade also stumped her. The crisis they are facing at this moment is even more serious than the crisis of the ivy tree demon blocking the road and robbing. Su Qianqian put on a sizing look, and looked at Yaodao's whole body carefully. After a while, Su Qianqian looked a little puzzled, and said in a childlike tone, "You don't look like a human, nor like a fairy." Hearing this, Yaodao was not angry on the spot, but smiled and said, "Little girl Qianqian, your words are not an answer." Su Qianqian still said childishly, "Isn't that an answer? But you really don't look like a human, nor like a fairy." Yaodao asked kindly again, "Then what do you think I look like?" Wang Wangking, who was on the side, saw that the demon way of the fairy wind was somewhat like a fairy, and it was somewhat like the dusty appearance of a mortal, so she couldn't judge whether the demon way was more like a mortal, or more like a mortal. A little more fairy. Su Qianqian looked at Yaodao carefully again, and said, "You look like a big mouse in Taoist robes." Boom! Immediately, Yaodao was struck by 5 thunderbolts. A majestic demonic energy diffused from Yaodao's body. That feeling of suffocation is unprecedentedly strong. Obviously, Su Qianqian completely angered Yaodao. However, Su Qianqian couldn't figure out why Yaodao became so angry. Could it be that he said something wrong? But Su Qianqian was telling the truth. In Su Qianqian's eyes, Yaodao is just a big mouse in Taoist robes. To be clear, it is a weasel the size of an adult. It's just that other people can't see through Yaodao's real body at all. Including Wang Wangking, who was on the side, she couldn't see that Yaodao would be a big mouse at all. Tiandao Live Broadcast Room. Friends of the Water, is that true? Why can't I see it? It is said that children under the age of 7, whose third eye has not been closed, can see things that we cannot understand. In Su Qianqian's eyes, it's not surprising that the real appearance of the Yao Dao is a weasel wearing Taoist robes all the time. Yao Dao is angry, the problem is very serious. Yao Dao will definitely not let Su Qianqian and Wang Wangking go easily. The possibility of surviving a weasel demon who angered the big demon level is very slim. What's more, ordinary magic weapons can't deal with the big monster, let alone a little girl with no strength to restrain a chicken, and a frail female college student. What can I use to resist? Wang Wangking quickly explained, "You misunderstood, the weasel is the revered Huang Daxian." Although Wang Wangking flattered the Yao Dao, she still didn't let the Yao Dao restrain her anger. Wang Wangking hastily added, "According to our folklore, you are the head of the 5 demon immortals. It's too late to flatter the poor Taoist now. Yaodao will not stop just because of flattering words." Yaodao waved the dust whisk in his hand, and immediately rose into the sky, which was 5 meters high from the ground. Obviously, Yaodao is going to make a bigger move against Su Qianqian. "Little girl, you have seen through Pandao's true body, and let Pandao lose his morality. The only way to make up for it is to absorb 50 years of your lifespan." Everyone was surprised. It turned out that the weasel demon would lose his way if he was seen through his true body. But the way of the demon way is too much, isn't it? Even if Su Qianqian is only 5 years old, if she is absorbed into 50 years of life, wouldn't she become an old woman in her 50s in disguise? How can I bear it? However, taking 10,000 steps back, being able to save your life is considered a blessing in misfortune. The water friends immediately thought of the other selected candidates, and their fate was even worse. After all, the ivy tree demon directly asked Donglong and the others to sacrifice the lives of the 3 of them as a price for passing. Yaodao was about to absorb Su Qianqian's life, but the whisk in his hand caught fire for no reason. "Damn fox, do you dare to spoil the good deeds of the poor?" As soon as the words fell, another woman with a graceful figure came out from the woods on the right. She looks to be only about 20 years old, with long silver hair and shawls, and her facial features are particularly delicate, smooth, and fair, showing nobility, especially wearing a white dress. She has a fairy air. But that enchanting figure is unstoppable. She seemed to be a woman wandering on the edge of immortals and demons. Snort! The red-haired woman snorted coquettishly and said, "A little girl saw through her true colors, did you get out of breath? Not only are you not good enough, you're also small-minded." For some reason, all the water friends in the Tiandao live broadcast room were deeply attracted by this silver-haired woman. "What a beautiful fox demon, my soul has been hooked by her. Mom, I seem to be falling in love. I finally know what a beauty is a disaster. It turns out that I also have the appearance of King Zhou, but I don't have that fate. Hee, man." For the appearance of the fox demon, the men in the Tiandao live broadcast room were fascinated, while the women were envious and jealous. It is undeniable that even a beautiful woman like Wang Wangking looks pale in front of this fox demon. It's really a wave of ups and downs, and another wave. The demon way that appeared already made Wang Wangking at a loss, and now a fox demon suddenly appeared. What should I do? Su Jianqian asked Wang Wangking, who was beside her. "Big sister, this silver fox is so beautiful." For Su Jianqian, the monsters in the demon-eating forest are not only novel, but also very distinctive, making her curiosity more and more intense. Wang Wangking didn't know how to answer. She could fully understand the curiosity of a 5-year-old girl, but what she had to consider now was how to get out of it. At this time, the fox demon and Yao Dao looked at each other face to face. These two are now concubines. The fox demon brushed his index finger across his cinnabar lips, his expression very charming. Yao Dao said angrily, "Don't think about it." The fox demon smiled and said, "You and I are both level 7 monsters, and you have compromised your morality, can you stop the concubine?" Hearing this, Yao Dao became even more irritable. Just like what the fox demon said, he is also a 7th level monster, and the demon way has broken his way. He really can't stop the fox demon, but he is about to eat the meat of his mouth, and he is snatched away like this. How can he forget it? Yao Dao forcibly held back his violent temper, and said in a calm tone, "When the poor Dao absorbs their 50 years of life, you can take them away at will." The fox demon smiled coquettishly and said, "Forgive me for not being able to do it myself. You reading www.yuyuganshu.com. If you absorb their 50 years of life, then their hearts and livers will lose their vitality." As soon as these words came out, Wang Wangking felt chills. The seemingly tender and beautiful woman turned out to be a hair-teething fox demon. She has not yet escaped from the mouse's den, but she has entered the fox's den again. I don't know what to do for a while. Tiandao live broadcast room. The way of the demon absorbs Yang Shao, I can understand it quite well, but why does the fox demon want to eat people's hearts? It is said that the female fox demon grows charming by nature, but she does not live forever, so the fox demon eats people's hearts to keep her youthful beauty. A demon that absorbs Yang Shao, and a fox demon that eats people's hearts, how terrible it is. The 3 big monsters that appeared in the demon-eating forest were not good at anything. It is impossible to escape from under the eyes of the 2 big monsters. Everyone has already guessed the result. Just one word, die. Your name is Qian, right? The fox demon asked softly. Su Qian replied obediently, "Yes. I will take you to eat delicious food and have fun." The fox demon did not lie, she really wanted to take Su Qian and Wang Wangking to eat, drink and have fun. After just eating, drinking and having fun, it's time for the fox demon to enjoy the big meal. A happy heart is obviously the most appetizing. Seeing the fox demon waved her hand, Wang Wangking was controlled by the fox demon like a doll, and followed behind the fox demon. And Qian was led away by the fox demon. Seeing this scene, Yao Dao's pupils shrank suddenly, and the evil spirit on his body became stronger, but Yao Dao did not attack the fox demon. There is only one reason. That means the demon way can't beat the fox demon. If you can beat it well, how can you give up your prey to the fox demon? But the current demon way can only be incompetent and furious, and watch helplessly as the fox demon takes Su Jianqian and Wang Wangqing away. Ye Dao saw the back of the fox demon disappear from sight, gritted his teeth and said, "Damn it! Pandeo remembers this account. Weasels are born to hold grudges." Waiting for the Taoism of the demon way to surpass the fox demon, it is estimated that he will go to the fox demon as soon as possible to settle this account severely. Suddenly, Yao Dao's originally ferocious face revealed a strange smile. And in the Tiandao live broadcast rooms on major platforms, thousands of water friends once again erupted. The live broadcast in Tiandao studio was originally divided into 9 screens, corresponding to the live broadcast of the 9 selected candidates. Except for the 3 split screens that have turned into pitch black, the other 6 split screens are still live, which means that there are still 6 selected people who have not died. However, the reason why all the water friends were in a panic was that Dong Long and the others were about to encounter the demon Dao. Originally, the Ye Dao suffered a dumb loss at the hands of the fox demon. Now that Dong Long and the others have been bumped into by the Ye Dao again, how can there be any reason to let it go easily? If you can escape the first day of junior high school, you can't escape the 15th day. No way, this is an alien dungeon with 3-star difficulty. Su Jianqian and Wang Wangqing were taken away by the fox demon. Their fate will definitely be worse than Dong Long's. Through the Tiandao live broadcast room, they saw Su Jianqian and Wang Wangqing being taken away by the hair-teething fox demon with their own eyes. It is conceivable how miserable the fate will be. Most of the water friends believe that Dong Long and the others are about to encounter the demon Wei, and the end will not be much better, but the chance of survival. A burst of yellow mist enveloped the surroundings, and suddenly Dong Long and the others broke out in a cold sweat. But Dong Long and the others felt that something was wrong, and retreated first. But for some reason, Dong Long and the others seemed to be bound by the body-holding technique, and they couldn't move at all. But their bodies were not bound by any rope or the like, but they just couldn't move. Don't forget, demons can do sorcery. In front of the demon path appeared in the mist. There are 4 of them. Ye Dao looked at the 4 of Dong Long, and must have vented his anger next. However, Dong Long and the others were astonished, they still didn't know what was going on. Why is there a Taoist priest wearing a yellow robe in the demon-eating forest? Although he looks like a fairy, the evil spirit released from the demon Taoist body is more than twice as powerful as the green vine tree demon. Dong Long and the others couldn't see Yao Dao's real body at all. What they saw in Wang Wangqing's eyes was exactly the same. It was a yellow-robed man who seemed to be a demon, but also a fairy. Just use you to make up for the lost Taoism. Ye Dao held a whisk in his hand, and then rose into the sky. Master, please forgive me. Dong Long was the first to beg for mercy, and he didn't have the toughness he had before. Dong Long and the others had no power to resist in front of the Dao of the big demon level. Daoist, please spare me, please let me go. As long as you let me go, let me do anything. The Taoist priest, please let me go. The 4 of Dong Long begged bitterly. Yao Dao seemed to be moved, and even gave Dong Long and the others a chance to survive. In other words, Dong Long's purpose was not to kill them, but to absorb their longevity. Sure enough, Ye Dao put on a superior posture, and said to Dong Long and the others, "It's okay to let Pandeo spare your life." Hearing this, Dong Long and the others seemed to have walked through the gates of hell, and the cold sweat on their bodies soaked through their clothes. They were terrified. "Thank you, Daoist. You are the most beautiful priest we have ever seen. 3 queens, 4 emperors, 5 elders, etc., are not as good as a single hair of yours." Dong Long and the others quickly flattered Ye Dao. "It's just that Ye Dao doesn't accept this trick." Ye Dao said disdainfully, "Pandeo just said that he would spare your lives, but he never said that he would let you go." Ye Dao continued, "For the sake of your piousness, each of you only needs to pay 20 years of life." As soon as these words came out, Dong Long and the others panicked again. Among the 4 Dong Long, they are all in their 20s to 30s. If he was absorbed by the Yao Dao for 20 years, he would become an old man. A long-haired man muttered, "Damn it, you demons want us to live 20 years. Yao Dao's ears moved, and it was obvious that he heard the long-haired man muttering. There are still opinions? Then everyone should pay 30 years of life. Yao Dao glared at Dong Long and the others angrily. At this moment, Dong Long and the other two men cast fierce eyes on the long-haired man. You talk too much. Why do you want to kill us? Grass. Dong Long and the other two candidates wanted to kill the long-haired man immediately. Dong Long rolled his eyes and pulled the other two men to plead. Deist, for the sake of our piousness, you can do it, we are willing to give 20 years of life. 30 years of longevity is really too much. You reading www.yuyuganshu.com. It's tantamount to killing us. I beg you to have a lot, my lord, please do me a favor. Among the four, Dong Long begged the hardest. Although Dong Long and the others begged vigorously, Yao Dao remained unmoved. If you dare to talk too much, the poor will all your life away. In fact, the Yao Dao only needs to absorb 10 years of lifespan to make up for the previously broken Taoism. It's just that Yao Dao spread all the anger he received on Dong Long and the others. Brush. As the whisk in Yao Dao's hand waved, strands of green light were absorbed into the whisk like thousands of strands. In a blink of an eye, the four of Dong Long showed their old age. Absorbing Yang Shao is absorbing their essence, spirit, and energy. The long-haired man's originally jet-black and shiny hair now has grey temples and a few wrinkles on his face. He looks like he's aged more than 30 years, and has become an out-and-out old man. As for Dong Long and the other two men, they also had a lot of grey hair. Not only did they have more wrinkles on their faces, but they also had age spots. Now they look like they are in their 50s or 60s. Yao Dao absorbed the Yang Shao of Dong Long and the others, turned into a wisp of yellow smoke, and disappeared in place. In the Tiandao live broadcast room, all the water friends sighed. Terrible. They just lost 30 years of life. According to the average life expectancy, Dong Long and the others only have 20 or 30 years left. It's a blessing, at least it's alive now. Everyone still believed that not only Dong Long and the others, but even Su Jianqian and the others could not survive in the demon-eating forest. Boom! Dong Long fiercely kicked the long-haired man. The long-haired man was kicked and rolled several times on the spot. Bastard, just because you talk too much, we lost 10 years of life. Seeing Dong Long winking again, motioning to the two men beside him, he exhaled fiercely at the long-haired man. Bang bang! The feeling of punching to the flesh lasted for a while. Brother Long! I was wrong. The long-haired man's nose was bruised and his face was swollen, and he was trembling all over. In fact, he also regretted it very much and shouldn't talk too much, but the end is done and it is irreparable. The long-haired man only begged Dong Long not to kill himself. Enough! Dong Long was very angry and wanted to kill the long-haired man, but killing the long-haired man would not help. However, Dong Long will not kill the long-haired man yet. If there is one less candidate, Dong Long will have to bear an extra price. Dong Long glared at the long-haired man angrily, and reprimanded in a stern tone, "Next time, talk too much, and I will kill you directly." "Brother Long, I don't dare." The long-haired man nodded hastily obsequiously. The other two men walked up to Dong Long and asked, "Brother Long, aren't those two girls dead? If they die, we are the only ones left, what should we do next?" In fact, Dong Long is not sure whether Su Jianqian and Wang Wangqing are still alive. If it's still alive, it's certainly not much better. If he died, it could only rely on him. Dong Long said, "What else can we do? Find the demon eater flower and complete the trial, otherwise we will all die." Dong Long didn't know where the demon-eating flower was, so he could only search aimlessly. Just north of the demon-eating forest, under a towering tree, there is a hole in the sky. Walking along the tree hole, there is a path paved with fluorite, and after crossing the fluorescent path, there is a solid wooden bridge. The sound of gurgling water is accompanied by the rotation of the bobbin car, just like a Ferris wheel. There are chic cabins on both sides, and there is a steaming blue hot spring below. On the lower right, there is a lush green lawn, among which there are swings, wooden horses and other toys for people to enjoy. At the bottom left, colorful colors and the fragrance of flowers blend together to form a dreamy flower field. This is simply a paradise on earth. Wow even! It was the first time Su Jianqian saw such a novel place. Seeing so many interesting and novel things, Su Jianqian also played in the cave to his heart's content. It is obviously impossible for a 5-year-old girl to think about the so-called sense of crisis. Furthermore, Su Jianqian has always believed in her father's words. However, at some point, Wang Wangqing, who was led here, became fully conscious. When Wang Wangqing saw this Daowen-like scene, she was also shocked, but her sense of crisis did not ease for a moment, on the contrary, it became even stronger. Naturally, Wang Wangqing thought about running away, but she has already entered the cage, and she is just a weak woman. How can she fight against the 7th-level monster? Of course, Wang Wangqing did not intend to give up struggling, even if the chance of surviving was slim. You have woken up so quickly from the concubine's charm technique, it seems that you have a strong sense of fear. The fox clings to Wang Wangqing's back, and strokes Wang Wangqing's cheek with her index finger. Wang Wangqing didn't reply, nor did she resist, because she knew that the fox demon would not kill herself immediately. After a while, Wang Wangqing asked tentatively, "Why do you want to eat our hearts?" The fox demon smiled charmingly, "Is there even a need to ask? Of course it is to protect my concubine's prosperous appearance." Wang Wangqing has also heard the legend of the fox demon. According to legend, the fox demon often seduces young men and eats their hearts in order to maintain their youthful appearance. Wang Wangqing was still puzzled. "Why don't you just eat our hearts and livers?" The fox demon didn't hide it either, and said bluntly, "The heart and liver are the most delicious at the happiest moment." Obviously, the fox demon wanted to take advantage of Su Jianqian and Wang Wangqing's happiest moment to dig out their hearts and eat them. Wang Wangqing didn't directly say that the fox demon is too cruel, but in fact, the fox demon is really cruel. "Do you think concubines are cruel?" The fox demon seemed to have the ability to read minds, and actually asked Wang Wangqing this sentence. The fox demon said again, "In the demon-eating forest, I am the most benevolent big demon." The fox demon just glanced at Wang Wangqing, and followed Wang Wangqing's train of thought and said, "If you think the rattan demon is the most benevolent, then you are really naive. In fact, the benevolence that the fox demon thinks refers to the means of killing. At least the fox demon let others die in joy. And the ivy tree demon in the mouth of the fox demon played with others, killed them thoroughly, and then transformed them into nutrients for absorption. Similarly, the method of the demon way makes people miserable, absorbing the lifespan of others. Even if they are alive, life is worse than death." These are just the 3 great monsters Wang Wangqing encountered in the Demon Eater Forest. However, the Demon Eater Forest is called a dungeon with a difficulty of 3 stars. There are definitely other big monsters, even the Demon King. The presence. The selected ones like Wang Wangqing who entered the foreign world dungeon for the first time were simply trying to survive. "Big sister, come play on the swing with me." Su Jianqian just got off the wooden horse. Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com now wants to play on the swing, but she really can't swing alone. Wang Wangqing felt that although she was miserable, she couldn't bear to watch Su Jianqian die. After all, in her eyes, Su Jianqian was just a 5-year-old girl who hadn't even learned the ways of the world. Wouldn't it be more pitiful to just die like this? "You're right, it's better to die in joy than in fear." Without hesitation, Wang Wangqing immediately walked up to Su Jianqian. Su Jianqian is sitting on a swing woven with flower vines. As the swing swings higher and higher, gusts of wind blow by her ears, as if flying freely in the air. This happiness comes from innocence. After playing for a while, Su Jianqian stared at the flower field on the lower left again. "Big sister, let's play house here." Su Jianqian said again, "I want to be a little princess." These words immediately brought back Wang Wangqing's childhood memories. In the past, she also liked to put her hair full of flowers in the flower fields, and be a happy little princess. At this moment, the water friends in the Tiandao live broadcast room, Dong Long and the others are playing Voldemort, playing house here. It's really over after playing. Wang Wangqing is always a weak woman, she can't resist at all. Everyone has never counted Su Jianqian in their combat power. As for whether Sokyunkin's pink water turtle children's smartwatch is a treasure, he also has great doubts. It's just that some people, with the mentality that they would rather believe what they have than not believe what they don't, have snapped up the pink water turtle children's smartwatches. Finally, the fox demon is about to make a move. Zhang! In an instant, the fox demon's hands, like sharp claws, stretched by more than 30 centimeters. The water friends in the Tiandao live broadcast room have already thought of the scene, and they dare not look directly at the screen. However, when Sokyunkin's small hand held up something similar to a crystal, the fox demon's delicate cheeks suddenly turned pale, making her look very scary. "Big sister, I picked up this crystal." Su Jianqian plans to use this crystal thing to decorate the newly woven Kerala. But when Wang Wangqing saw this crystal, hopeful eyes flickered in her pupils. A heart-shaped crystal. Wang Wangqing took the heart-shaped crystal, and then looked at the fox demon not far away. "I guessed right." When Wang Wangqing said this, the fox demon's expression became more and more embarrassing. "Don't move, or I'll break it right away." Wang Wangqing was confident, and broke the heart-shaped crystal in her hand the moment the fox demon attacked. And the fox demon was really motionless on the spot, she didn't dare to make another move because she was afraid. Of course, it's not because she's afraid of the fragile Wang Wangqing, but because she's afraid of something else. In the Tiandao live broadcast room. What happened? The fox demon is afraid. Could it be that you are afraid of the heart-shaped crystal in Wang Wangqing's hand? No, this heart-shaped crystal should have a special connection with the fox demon. Otherwise, why would the fox demon, who is a 7th-level demon, be afraid? What everyone couldn't understand was what kind of treasure the heart-shaped crystal in Wang Wangqing's hand was, and why it made the fox demon so afraid. In the field of flowers, the fox demon was even more puzzled. How did Su Jianqian get the heart-shaped crystal? Also, how did Wang Wangqing know that the heart-shaped crystal poses a great threat to the fox demon? "Give it to my concubine," the fox demon said in a friendly tone, calming down his anger. Wang Wangqing didn't accept this at all, and her tone became tough, as expected. "This is your heart." In fact, Wang Wangqing didn't know how Su Jianqian got the heart-shaped crystal. But Wang Wangqing could tell right away that this was the heart of the fox demon, and it had a lot to do with her major. You must know that Wang Wangqing is a college student in the Qing History Department, not only majoring in humanities and history, but also minoring in mythology and history. As for why she chose this major, it was probably because the copy from another world came to Blue Star. At first, she only wanted to be a research scientist for a dungeon from another world, but she never thought that she would be selected by the Heavenly Dao system. Wang Wangqing also said, since the fox demon is not immortal, and has to rely on eating people's livers to maintain his youthful appearance, then he will definitely seal his heart and lock his love. As the saying goes, if there is love in the sky will also grow old. Speaking of this, the fox demon was unable to refute, and made the fox demon's heart even more angry, but the fox demon did not dare to make a move, for fear that Wang Wangqing would really come to a dead end. In that case, the fox demon will not only age and become ugly, but also lose his morality, which will outweigh the gains. The fox demon chose to take a step back and said, give it back to the concubine to ensure that you can leave here safely. Wang Wangking seemed to be playing the role of a bad woman, and made more progress. Impossible, now it is not just a bargaining chip for our survival. What are you going to do? The fox demon completely underestimated Wang Wangking, a weak woman. Wang Wangking directly opened the skylight and said bluntly, "Help us find the demon-eating flower first, otherwise we won't talk about it." Wang Wangking has never forgotten the purpose of the trial, but she has been in crisis before, so she has no time to think about it. Now that there is a chance, it is natural to find the demon-eater flower and complete the trial. But when the fox demon heard the words demon-eating flower, an inexplicable sense of fear surged into his heart. What kind of existence is a demon-eating flower that can make a 7th level monster even talk about it? That's definitely not a lot of ordinary flowers. The amount of information is simply too great. It made Wang Wangking's brain unable to turn around. The fox demon said bluntly, "The reason why this place is called the demon-eating forest is that it was once controlled by the Demon King's gluttonous flower demon." Appeared. After all, the word Demon King is taken for granted in the dungeons of the 3-star difficulty demon realm. Once. Wang Wangking then asked, "You mean, the Demon King is gone?" The fox demon said bluntly, "Yes, he died 6 years ago, but the Demon King gluttonously ate the seeds of the flower demon, which is the demon-eating flower." As soon as these words came out, Wang Wangking seemed to be hit by a bolt from the blue. How could she have thought that the demon-eating flower turned out to be a demon? And the trial to find the demon-eating flower is so dangerous. If you can't complete the trial, you will also die. Seeing this, Wang Wangking put the heart-shaped crystal into a delicate small box, and then said to the fox demon, "This is an enhanced version of Mozi's organ box. If you destroy it forcibly, the contents inside will also be destroyed. Drop it, unless you can teleport it." The meaning of Wang Wangking's words is very clear, except for herself. If anyone else forcibly opens the box, the heart-shaped crystal will be destroyed. "My concubine thought you were a frail woman." The fox demon has already gritted her teeth with hatred for Wang Wangking. Even the water friends in the Tiandao live broadcast room did not expect that Wang Wangking looks weak, but in fact she is very strong in heart, and has a certain degree of skill and courage. I don't want to talk too much nonsense with a demon. Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com. Wang Wangking has always believed that demons are definitely not good. If she hadn't grasped this life-saving straw at a critical moment, she would not have survived. Now that he has a bargaining chip, he can not only survive, but also make a deal with the fox demon. As long as it's not too much, there's no need for the fox demon to come to his death. Wang Wangking cut to the chase and said, "If we are alive, your heart will be fine." The fox demon heard Wang Wangking's implication, and she wanted to protect them until she found the demon-eating flower. The fox demon didn't answer, but just acquiesced. Seeing her, she shifted her gaze to Su Jianqian. She still couldn't figure out how a 5-year-old girl picked up her own sealed heart. "My own heart is sealed in the sea dry stone and sealed." That was a seal that even a 10th level demon could not open. The fox demon couldn't believe that Su Jianqian was really an ordinary little girl. Hidden mogul? How is that possible? Then how did Su Jianqian take the fox demon's heart so easily? And it's not normal to be able to come here unscathed. The more the fox demon guessed, the more he felt that Su Jianqian was extraordinary. Therefore, it also made the fox demon even more unpredictable. The fox demon acquiesced to Wang Wangking's conditions, but a large part of the reason was because the fox demon couldn't figure out Su Jianqian. "Oh, I remembered." Su Jianqian tapped her small head lightly with her small hand. Wang Wangking, who was on the side, asked, "Jianqian, what do you remember?" Su Jianqian said truthfully, "Dad said, let me not play for too long, and go home on time for dinner." Wang Wangking was stunned.